So we're going to talk about basmati rice. What is that? I mean, you keep hearing eat basmati rice with Indian food, but why? This is basmati rice. Basmati in Sanskrit means fragrant. It is a very long grain, fragrant rice. It is really important to get a high quality basmati from India because the longer grain, the better. We do not want our rice clumping up. We want it when we go to put it on the plate to kind of fall apart. So it's really critical to get the right basmati rice. I've got 2 cups here. I've rinsed it once or twice, drained it, and now it's just sitting here in this bowl. So what we're going to do is make jeera chawal. Chawal means rice in Hindi. Jeera means cumin. We're going to show you how they do it in the restaurants. So let's do it on the stove top in my absolute favorite pot, Le Creuset. This was the quince color. I just loved it, fell in love with it originally. So I've had this pot for years, and there's nothing that makes you feel better as a cook inside than when you have Le Creuset surrounding you and when you're cooking. Like anything is possible, right? So I really truly love my Le Creuset, but you could do this in any pot. Le Creuset also has their aluminum pot line, which works well for rice as well. So we're gonna go ahead and heat this on medium high. I wanna get my oil. I've got a grapeseed, very high smoke point, clean tasting oil. You can use clarified butter or ghee if you want as well. And I'm gonna go ahead and just put about a tablespoon of oil in my pot. And now are going to come the spices. Jeera or cumin seed is gonna go in. It's a whole seed. So let's get that in just like that, about a teaspoon. And it's gonna start to sizzle because it's tempering. This is the tadka. Remember, T-A-R-K-A or T-A-R-D-K-A. The tadka is how we pull out the essential oils from our spices into our oil or ghee. And I've got this little bowl that says salt, but I keep all my essentials to make rice, the same essentials to make chai right here. So cinnamon stick. Let's put a few cloves in there. My mother-in-law especially makes the most amazing basmati rice. I can't compare it to hers even yet, but I try, I get pretty close. And then this really funky spice, cardamom, but not the green one you're thinking about. This is badi ilachi or black cardamom. Badi means big, big cardamom, or kali ilachi, black cardamom. We're gonna put that in here as well. And so you're gonna let this mix up and heat up and just get all those delicious smells and the delicious tastes from the spices out. They're in your oil, but you can smell them. This, if I could put in a perfume bottle, I promise you, I would wear it every day. It's a smell I grew up with in my home. My mom was making jeera chawal every day, just about, outside of when she was making jeera spaghetti. So as the cumin seed gets reddish brown, and everything sort of comes together in the pot, you want to grab your rice. Remember, this rice was rinsed, so it has moisture in it. You want to be super careful when you're adding it to your pot. I turned my stove off just for a minute so that it wouldn't be too hot. And we're going to get nice and low and take that 2 cups of washed rice and drained and get it right into my pot. I love that sound. It is just, well, it cries, Mom, to me, honestly. All right, so you got the sizzle. I'm gonna have to just go ahead and grab my salt from my spice box, and just a little bit of salt, a touch is perfect, not much more than that. And remember, 1 cup rice, double water. This is white basmati, but we use 2 cups rice, so we're gonna use 4 cups water. So I'm gonna go ahead and pour that water in now. And turn the stove back on. Now, as it warms back up, remember, that part where we sauteed and we really got the tadka done with the jeera and with the cardamom pod and the cloves is a moment when you can make this dish anything you want. You can take it from jeera chawal and make a palau out of it. Say that you want to put some cashews in there. Put it in at that time. Maybe you want to just saute some sliced onion. Maybe, and this is what we do quite a bit, that frozen package of diced carrots, corn, and green bean. I know, what do people normally do with that? Well, Indians take that and put that into their tadka, then put the rice in, and then put the water in. And they eat it with yogurt. So it's almost a meal in itself. So we're gonna go ahead and let this come to a boil. Once it hits boil, we'll take the lid, we'll put it on here, but slightly ajar so that the steam can release as you're cooking. And remember, the last little bit is turn your heat down so that it's very low and it just sits to cook. One of the biggest issues when people make rice, seems to me, the biggest mistakes, is they tend to want to touch it. Do not touch your rice. Leave it alone, folks. Let it sit like this. It will cook up beautifully. Do not stir it because then the starches are released and it becomes more sticky. You want to just leave it alone and let it cook for about 8 to 10 minutes. Our rice finished cooking. And remember, we had it on a very low heat with the lid slightly ajar to allow it to release the moisture as it was cooking down, as the water was cooking down. And at the end of that 10, 11, 12 minutes, I turn the stove off and I settle that lid flat. Because the key thing is, if you catch it right towards that end, just before it's completely dry, and you let it sit with the stove off, but you don't move it, you let it sit on that stove top where you're still feeling that heat come off the burner, it just lets everything set beautifully. I'll do that for 2 to 3 to 4 minutes. And I'll just let it sit and then I'll take that lid off. That is one of the tricks to perfect basmati rice. So look at this. Look how beautifully fluffy it is. It's all kind of sticking up in the pot, and that is what you want. And when you take a fork to it, it just kind of pulls apart beautifully, and you see all that steam release, and it's gorgeous. Now, typically we will serve it with all the spices, including the cardamom pods, because we know to get rid of those cardamom pods and not bite into them. But if you are serving this to a group that may not know Indian food as well, there's nothing worse than biting into one of those things. Take them out, set them to the side. You can do the same thing if you want with the cloves. The cumin seed are great to eat. Just leave them in there. It's not a problem at all. So it's just the cardamom pods, the cloves, and if you see the cinnamon stick, pull that out to the side as well, or leave them in. But now you know how to make perfect basmati rice every time.